Laundry, no laundry people.
I call this regular meeting, April regular meeting of the Brattleboro Housing Partnerships to order. First item on the agenda is to review and approve minutes from the meetings of March 20th. Not having been at the meeting, because it was chaired by a Vice Chair, Tom Fennell, do I hear a motion to approve these as they were circulated?
So moved.
Second? Any comments, questions?
Just one thing I wanted to, Chris, you were absolutely right that Meet Your Match Fair, the Helen Grimes Hall is in key.
Yeah.
Is there a way to get Brattleboro people to go to it? Since we need to get Brattleboro people to be on.
Well, I think that network is putting it out, so
So even though it's in Keene, it will contact people from Brattleboro?
Yes, yeah.
Very good.
Yeah. My understanding was that was the best place that they could find.
All those in favor of approving the minutes as circulated, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. No abstentions. Or I guess one abstention, me. And there are no residents and citizens to participate today, unfortunately. So staff reports, property managers, purple.
Yeah, I didn't notice this last time, but why is Melrose so high on the?
Oh, well, Melrose and Red Clover, we're still figuring out between the two systems. We've got to move accounts around.
Okay.
So it's part of the,
Yeah, it's just, you know.
well, if you look at Red Clover, it
Yeah,
doesn't look as good
that
as
was-
it should either. And it's because we still have accounts. Chelsea and Richard are carefully going through all those accounts and Courtney
Okay.
to make sure everything's in the right place. Or Courtney and Richard are going.
I wanted to ask about the vacant units. The first paragraph in the general update.
Yes. We have a few vacant units and we are working on, there was one here and one at Red Clover.
I saw that the resident of
Yeah, yeah. So,
These are just vacant in the normal routine of things.
yes, yes, the Melrose are all the transfers to get everybody over into the 6 buildings that we're going to keep open.
Mhm.
So that was all that. And then I wanted to let you know that Richard sent us a note, and Chelsea so this was probably, he sent this mid-April. Chelsea had collected almost $20,000 between Morport and Ledgewood. So, yeah.
I collected the $20,000 because it was money in rent owed that had not been paid.
Yes, it's showing up on here as money's owed.
Very good.
Okay, well, it's 5% lower than last month, I mean, our outstanding. I happen to have the one next to me, it's
Mhm.
2452 grand total this month, and 2949 was last month. So we're down overall 5%.
Yeah, I thought both Moore and Ledgewood looked much improved.
A lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Which was down 33, well, but it was 2457 last month,
Yeah,
down to 24.
yeah. So that's big improvement.
Yeah, and more 44 to 24.
The next report, resident wellness services, family self-sufficiency, resident services coordinator, and SASH coordinator. The Ross report from July in blue. Working with tenant associations, and as I remember, tenant associations have a tendency to get very exciting and then peter out, and so
They're pretty
Really
organic, you know, they
Yes.
they get going and then they get into a lull and then they get going again. But it's great to have this position, which helps sustain them. So, and Lorelei is great, so.
And the family self-sufficiency report.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking particularly whether the escrow accounts encourage people to pay more in the way of their rent.
Well, yes, and now Lucy has embarked on a very, and she mentions it, the rent project is what she's calling it. But she's really developed a model that we're going to be using with the other service people, where right after the 5th, she gets the list of her participants that have not paid their rent yet, and she contacts them before the property manager is making contact. So that's the model we want to use with Lorelei and Sash and Lucy, is to have them get to people with the softer, your rent is due, instead of what the property managers have to do, which is your rent is due and it's a serious lease violation and,
It's a gentler approach.
much. So that's why we have this whole resident wellness and services group now to work with the property managers on just this kind of thing. But Lucy had jumped on it and it's great.
We have some wonderful photographs as
Yeah.
part of this.
Very
So I wonder,
I'm assuming
are
these
these
pictures-
from the Star people who bought a house in
Yeah.
New Hampshire
Yes, yes,
and moved out of public housing?
yes.
That's great.
It's a very nice,
Pretty cool.
yeah.
Does she have any
Whether
room
this
there?
can be sold or not.
That's nice, that's a nice place.
Yeah.
Very nice. Yeah.
Okay, Greg?
Has that information on the bottom about a dentist that takes Medicaid?
Yeah.
I'm
Has
sure
that
they
been?
will be getting it out.
Yeah, because I know some
Check that
people
out.
that would.
Oh, yeah.
I've been looking for a dentist. Medicaid?
Medicaid, yeah.
Where do they stop laughing?
Yeah, no, this group now meets, I think every other week, just to talk about the things they've discovered.
Very good.
Like that, so they can get the word out to everybody.
And not only Medicaid, but reduced fees for the uninsured through a
Yeah.
dental student exchange, so that it is not only benefiting people who have little money, but helping students
Yeah.
who need this kind of opportunity.
Yeah.
Sash,
Great.
last month Christine completed 5 memorandums of understanding
Oh,
for the 5 Sash sites in Wyndham and Windsor County.
they're huge. That was-
Remembering that we were one of the pilots.
Yeah,
That's
yes.
really exciting.
yeah. So those are all out. I think they probably have somewhere between 8 to 10 partners on each SASH MOU. So that was a lot of work, and she got them all out, and we're trying to tweak people to get them back.
Very good. The coffee and chat at Red Commons, how well is that working?
Really well, really well. People are really, there's a lot of activity at Red Clover. A lot of people coming and going.
Any comments, questions from the board? Housing choice vouchers, homeless produce in yellow.
For the transitions program, many people involved in homeless housing got a notice that I think that the way the legislature is dealing with some of the budget shortfall is they've gone back to the Agency of Human Services and said, you have to cut some of your grants. Cut your least performing or your poor performing grants. And most of the grants, I think, are now on regular performance measures. And we're fortunate because transition blows past all of its metrics. So there, I asked David about it when I got it, and I sent it to him, and he said he talked with the housing director, and the housing director said, oh no, your grant is really one of the best performing. You demonstrate really good results.
As they said,
So we're hoping.
the goal was to serve 12 homeless families per grant year, and we've surpassed that goal. At this point, serving 16 different families this grant year. That's really good.
And Shelter Plus Care is up to 31. That's amazing.
I have to tell you, too, the guys on Shelter Care Plus Care, they share an apartment. They've been homeless for a long, long time. And one of them, every time they see somebody, you're going to come see my apartment?
Oh, that's great.
It is, it's so sweet. I mean, they keep it perfectly neat, it's clean,
really nice.
and they're just so excited that they have this apartment.
Yeah. That is
Well,
great.
that's the goal.
Oh, yeah.
Housing first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Section 8,
And Section 8 is chugging along. Oh, I sent you the C-map. I sent it to you just so you could see it. This was in your, it looks different. It looks different in your, it looks like that.
yes.
And I sent you one that was not filled out because I had not completed the review of all the files. In order to put this together, this is a federal measurement, I have to go through about 40 files at least to measure different, to see if have we done different things that are called for in this. So I have now gone through it. It's very positive. The files are in beautiful condition, in beautiful shape, really well done. So I would ask that you approve the CMAP certification for this year.
So that sounds as if it needs
Yes.
a motion.
So moved.
Second. Do I have a second?
Pat.
Okay, thank you. And just because other people may not remember, CMAP means?
Section 8 Management Assessment Program.
Very good. So, and Section 8 is our community housing vouchers, and as they say, you
Yes.
to remain 2 Melrose folks searching one resident, potentially leasing in the community. So we really see with that just how tight the housing environment is.
Yeah.
We have a motion on the floor, and I shouldn't have talked otherwise. And are you ready to vote? All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Abstentions?
Thank you.
Welcome.
Programs are really doing very, very well.
And then the asset manager, Jack McBurney.
Yeah.
Orange report.
So we finally got the fire marshal to approve our sprinkler work, and all the sprinkler manufacturers said, we're busy all summer because school is out. And it's the only time we can work in schools.
That's logical.
So we are ready to do that project. We have the money, we have the plans approved.
Okay.
On we go.
And the fan coil valves have been replaced.
Yes?
The system has been running and cooling using the geothermal system.
It's working. We're very happy. Jack was over there first thing this morning. He said, it was hot yesterday. I want to make sure that it was working. So it was good.
Those apartments that face the westernmost sun, do they need special shades?
I don't think they need anything more than the blinds that they have. Those blinds should be fine. Yeah. We were talking, Melrose is we have those 4 buildings. We've now emptied all 11 buildings that will be discontinued. And the 4 that are our worst culprits for flooding are scheduled to be demolished in May and June. And the police and fire asked if they could use those for training purposes. They will not be burned, there won't be any burning of buildings, but they do want to use them for different, emergency techniques, and I don't know. So he said, of course they can,
Yeah,
yes.
it sounds like a good idea.
Yeah, I thought it was great. So,
Is it gonna be televised?
Well, that's what, frankly,
We can
that's
still
what I
see.
was wondering, because it would give at least the community some sense of what's going on.
well, I'll talk to Mary about whether the police and fire feel comfortable with that. But I can contact them and see.
Yeah.
So they will be using those, and we thought that was great. And we had a housing authority that wanted some of our old cabinets, and we said, please, come
Take
get
it.
them. So,
Make it quick.
yeah, so that's good.
The police and fire might be videotaping it.
You're
themselves.
right, they
Yeah, because they
probably
do
will.
other things that they take.
You're right, they
Yeah,
probably will.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the 10-mast system that the maintenance staff is using.
Yes. So Jack has been working very hard to get these tablets to work, and he's now gotten them working and communicating with our system. David Dearborn is away for a bit. When he comes back, he is going to be the key person to really, give them a hard ride, and then we'll start using them with the rest of the staff.
Okay.
I did want to just inform you that last week we had a very large meeting. We did not call it, but it was called by FEMA and the state on our pre-disaster mitigation application to remove the buildings and widen the stream at Melrose. We had almost 20 people here from FEMA and HUD and a huge number of state offices. Our stream engineer was here, just a lot of people, and had a very good, I think it was about a 3-hour meeting on the Melrose application and what they needed now. And then I took the lead staff person and the consultant to them, to FEMA, over Red Clover, and they were very impressed with Red Clover, and they said, we always go to see what the replacement housing is. They said, you wouldn't believe it, sometimes the replacement housing is not a real improvement at all.
Huh.
And, it's not in the safe zone, and it's sort of like, wait a minute, And I said, no, we really want our people to be safe. So they were very pleased, and of course, one of our residents invited them into her apartment and said, oh, come and see what it looks like.
That's lovely.
I think
So-
the case could be made that that's the nicest place to live in Brattleboro right
It's
now.
pretty nice, I'll tell you. But it was a very good meeting, and it was sort of the chicken and the egg. They kept saying, well, we want you to do more engineering, and we want these kind of detailed plans, and we were like, well, but you haven't said you're gonna give us the grant. So why, I don't want to spend a lot of money on these stream engineers and they said, yeah, well, let's put it this way, you won't start this year, but you probably will start next year. How's that for an answer? And we said, okay, what do you want? So it sounds very positive.
So the housing authority is responsible for the stream work?
Yes, it's in the application. To remove the buildings and then widen the stream and put in the vegetation and remove trees and give the brook a much wider path all through Melrose.
Last piece of green paper, the checks. Monthly check listing. I note that Green Mountain Power gets a substantial amount of money from us,
Yeah.
$20,000.
Yeah, and that's
And then 36.
that's a light money.
Who was Miranda Davis?
don't know, where is that?
It's right next to
Green
the,
Power.
on the top. Right
Right
next to
under
the
GMP.
GMP.
Oh. Oh, I'm trying to think of that. I will have to look and find out.
It was a March check.
Yeah. I will find out.
And check signing. I'm finishing up this April. Pat, you're doing June? Oh, no, excuse me, Pat, you're doing May.
Is that right?
going to work?
Is that gonna work for you?
Yes.
Okay. And then we had June, Chris or Tom, and July, Chris or Tom.
We'll talk about it in May.
Okay.
I don't think it makes much difference.
Okay. The one item that I did want to tell you is that the ribbon cutting for Red Clover will be May 25th at 1:30. And it will be an all-star event, so.
Whoa.
Any senators?
No, but all the congressional staff will come.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, yeah. And word has already gone out to all the major funders, the President of the United,
Please.
the People's United Bank representative, and some of the other folks. And then it's a little awkward, but we will invite people like Sue Mittner and Peter Shumlin and people, because they
Sure.
really were critical to
Yeah, I think that's great.
to Melrose and to us being able to do Red Clover and Pat Moulton. I mean, we've got a whole long list of people that
Right.
were in public service and should be there.
Yeah.
And we really want to say thank you.
Mhm.
So I was kidding with Ken, the fellow from Housing Vermont, and I said, I don't know about you, Ken, but my list is about 100 people to thank. And he started laughing. And he said, yes, so is mine. That's why we have a lot of duplicates.
Is there any other other business?
I guess I just had a question about this. We all got this in the mail.
Oh, yes, yes.
When I read this, I looked at it, I said, hasn't all of this been accomplished already?
Yes, we've done most of it.
So this is just kind of formality?
Yes, it is.
Good,
Yes.
that's better than,
Yeah, so we will be, but we will formally respond to them
well, you
by the
have
end of the
to.
month.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Are we coming close to being a high-performing agency again?
We're getting there. I think we're really getting there. Yeah. We're having our financial audit that's part of the scoring. Howie's coming at the end of April. But I think with this kind of good news about tenants' accounts receivable, and Richard and the staff have really gotten into a system of working through accounts, and they're a little bit more work to do, but they're really very focused on it. We will have a final budget next month. So I think we're getting close.
There being no further business, do I hear a motion to adjourn? Larry has, and second? I have like
Lori, and who was the second?
Who was seconded?
Tom.
Tom, okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Hi.
Opposed? Stay at the table.
Yeah.